It's the salt conclusion of the championship game. Patriots, Broncos. You still got the T-shirts of both teams up there. I long ago, I don't know what part I'm up to. I might be part 6, part 5. I think I'm part 6. I long ago went to the Dolphin Cap because it was getting hot. I even did a few. This is so low tech that I noticed that a few of the parts I did, I don't remember which parts were. You'll check it out. Are in reverse. I hit some button. I was playing around because I wanted to learn how to edit some of these videos, and I must have hit a button where I flip it around, and you could watch Tom Brady throwing lefty. Yeah, that's right, Tom Brady throwing lefty. You can see it's not on the video I showed. It's Wobet. It's Wobet, not what it says there. You could you can see my hair parted a different way. Whatever hair I got left, whenever you can spot a little bit of it. But anyway, we are up to the 2-point conversion. The Patriots just miraculous, I won't call miraculously, but they somehow pull off a couple of fourth downs, one long one to Gronk, and a 4th and goal, just now scoring a touchdown to bring it to 20-18. And now it's a 2-point conversion to tie. So let's go right to the action here. Here we go. They're showing the Guskowski miss. Now, if you want to blame him for a little bit of this, okay, go ahead. I mean, it would have been 20-19 had he hit that, and they would have been able to tie now with the extra point. But it's hard to, as Jim Nance says over here, he says a lot of things happen in between, so you can't say that that 1 point is everything here. I would blame Tom Brady in this game more. I would blame the offensive line more, and we will do that because we're going to give you the 2-point conversion. Then we're going to give you a summation of the whole game. Summarize all these 6 parts I've done. This extensive, solid, specific second look analysis, and let's get it going. It's 2-point conversion time. A lot have happened since then, says Jim Nance. 12 seconds in the game. If they miss this, they'll have to recover an onside kick and somehow score within 12. So it all comes down to this 2-point conversion. And we're going to listen to Jim Nance and Phil Simms for this. You'll see why we don't have to go to the Coach 22 for this one. They gave up 2 4th-down conversions, he just said, so Denver's got to be in a little bit of wow. Are we going to actually let them tie it? Here it comes. Brady back to pass. This is it. It's all penalty throws to the middle. Tipped away. Intercepted. And there's a fumble, by the way. That could have been recovered and ran all the way in. Had they instead of just sitting on it, they could have actually ran it in. I checked up the rules. Not like I heard from Mike Francesa thought, well, once it's fumbled, it's probably dead ball at that point. I actually could have recovered that and ran it in. Let's watch the replay. Now you know why we don't. Now you know why we don't need the Coach 22 because they show the angle from the sky here. So let's see. Brady had to roll out right pretty immediately, and he tries to throw back to the middle to Edelman. Let's see if there's anybody open. I must admit, I didn't catch this myself. A friend of mine caught it, and then NFL.com said it, and I think it's become public now that Mr. Brady did miss an open guy. And so far, nobody open. As Brady's now again flushed right. That's my finger you're seeing in the front. Not open, not open, not open. That's Gronkowski, by the way. And the 2 over here don't matter, even if they are open. Brady would have to throw it back across the other way. So let's see. And let's listen to Phil Simms, what he says.
Easy to say now, but that was your one-on-one.
All right, I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if you caught the throw. Forget about what Simms said. I meant to throw. Let's go back and watch that replay. But there was an open man. Listen what Simms says. Right? He says they double-team the tight end Gronkowski. But they don't double-team the tight end Gronkowski. Let's take a look. Right there. Open! Oh, did you see that? I had my finger there. Open. Gronkowski was open for a second.
As we said all day long, pressure made Brady move. To lead was the one.
As he said all day long, pressure made the move. If you've been watched my 5 parts, yes, he's had pressure a lot in this game, but nowhere near the 23 hits and a little bit exaggerated. It was a big factor in the game, but Brady had time on plenty of balls. And I'm going to now utilize this pause button. It's my new weapon. Now let's go back and summarize this game, but I want to do it through. Let's listen to what Jim Nance said right after Denver recovers the onside kick that was unsuccessful. Listen to Jim Nance.
There weren't a whole lot of people giving them a chance coming into this one.
There weren't a whole lot of people giving them a chance coming into this one. What does that mean? New England was the favorite. New England was properly the favorite, even away in Denver, because they're the better team. Why are they the better team? If you remember, before the playoffs started, I did a preview of the whole playoffs, and I wrote, who's the best team in the AFC? Denver. That's because I expected Peyton Manning to go back to form of what he was last year. It was only last year that he threw 39 touchdowns. Towards the end of the year, again in that championship game, and the last month, he wasn't good. We're going to attribute it to injury. You could attribute it to injury. We don't assume that he just fell off the face of it and became bad. He was terrible in that Indianapolis championship game last year, Manning. This year, again, there was injuries mixed in. So you assume it was injuries that was a part of the issue. And now, for this game, and last week against Pittsburgh, he said he was at the healthiest he's been in over a year. Well, if this is the healthiest he's been, then he's clearly dropped. And therefore, New England was correctly the favorite. And listen to what Phil Simms says as we start our analysis of the game. Listen to Phil.
Well, he did it once again. 17 of 32, 176 yards. The 2 touchdown passes in the first half. And the defense came through so many times.
Okay, in summarizing the game, he goes, Peyton Manning came through again, 17 of 32, 176, with the 2 touchdown passes, and then he mentions the defense. So let's get that out of the way. Peyton Manning didn't do anything in this game to win it. Well, he managed, he didn't throw any interceptions. He was bad. Or you want to say the New England defense was just too good for him. At this stage, Peyton Manning doesn't have the arm strength, and when New England came up to the line, impressed, Manning did nothing pretty much. I said this many times, and this is part of my summary, and I'm going back to where I was steaming over here. Remember, I was sitting right over here. Right here is where I was sitting as I was steaming at Belichick and at Brady and at McDaniels. Well, I'm still steaming a little bit at Bill Belichick for gifting Peyton Manning a touchdown by playing a soft defense on the first drive. That's 7 points right there. The only other touchdown that Peyton Manning threw was off the Brady turnover deep in Denver territory, so only had to go 15 yards. And the 2 field goals, one was because they were a little conservative before the half. Manning started from the 50-yard line and got into field goal range with 15 yards. And one long 40-yard run that they, on a 3rd and 1, Belichick came up all the way up and blitzed. And they busted a run for 40 yards, which got him in field goal range. That's your 20 points for New England. So let's get it out of the way. Manning did nothing in this game. And the New England defense was pretty good except for what I just mentioned. So a little bit mad at Belichick for the few things I mentioned there. But let's go to the New England offense. Again, the perception was, and I'm saying this with now, it took me a second time watching to get to see this. When I was watching the first time, I also thought, wow, this offensive line just could not block. He was getting killed all over the place, and the blame would then go on McDaniel and the offensive line. But McDaniel for not calling different plays. If he keeps getting hit, change it, adapt. Throw it shorter, throw to the running back, have him roll out, leave back better protection, put a double team on Von Miller, make adjustments. But I take that back. Mr. Josh McDaniel, I hereby apologize to you. He was not the problem here. At any point, I pointed out throughout all of these productions, these SALT productions of this game, I don't know how many there are, about 5 or 6 of them. It's out of hand. But I pointed out throughout that there was many times where I showed you where Brady had time, plenty of time. There was never a reason for McDaniel to say, oh man, we got to drastically change the game plan here. On all the short ones he completed about 20 or more than 20 out of 25 of the short ones that they typically will complete with the Edelmans, with the little spins and the Gronkowskis on the 5-yarders and White out of the backfield. On the little bit longer ones, 10 to 15 range, more than half the time, Brady had time. That's right, more than half the time. What I counted, there were times he got hit, and the offensive line's got to take some of the blame. Where does the offensive line take some of the blame? They take some of the blame on the second interception, where Brady tries to go about 25 yards down the left sideline in middle of second quarter. Brady got hit. The ball therefore floated in the air, picked off. That was offensive line for there was a drive that they ended on a sack. Brady, I think you could blame the offensive line at least a little bit on that. And there's, of course, other times when Brady's getting hit that's making him a little bit like happy feet, where, hey, I'm going to get hit again, I'm going to get hit again. Therefore, that's bound to affect the quarterback. He's going to throw some early. So you want to blame the offensive line to a degree, fine. But the most blame goes to Mr. Tom Brady for a terrible pick to Von Miller early second quarter. Or was that the first quarter? Second quarter. A missing White 3 times long. One of them, there's a fourth that was the offensive line. Had they given him an extra half a second, he would have been thrown it deeper in the end zone. It would have been a touchdown. But the few of those he had time. Mr. Tom Brady had time and missed White deep. So he threw a bad interception. He missed one that would have been a touchdown, and a few other times where White was open deeper. And on that 2-point conversion, he missed Gronkowski that was open. It's hard to believe how he missed him. He's rolling right, and Gronkowski's about to cut right. Very hard to believe how. It's very difficult to see how he missed him on that. Tom Brady is if you want to pick one GOAT, if you have to, you're gonna have to pick Tom Brady there as the man who was most responsible for that loss. Now, does that mean I am not giving Denver Broncos any credit? No, they played well. Their defense played well. But they didn't hit him 23 times, as you see in the stats. Take your stats and throw them out the window. There was about 10 to 13 significant hits. That's a lot. But I would say Brady left points on the board. If I had to decide, was it Denver great defense or Brady being bad? It's a combination of both. Denver was very good on defense, but Brady could have done enough to win this game. You're going to have to, Brady, you lost it for New England. You were the favorite, could have scored more there, should have scored more. Tom Brady, more a factor of the loss. Why is New England lost than Denver being good? But Denver gets a lot of credit for being good, and they're a big consideration. Their defense, you could say, won this game, together with Brady being a little bit off on the things I mentioned. So combination, you want to mention Gostkowski missing the extra point? All right, it's a factor. You want to mention Amendola on a drop? Yeah, every play matters. Even a Denver saving the ball from going into the end zone on a punt, that saves 17 yards. Every little play counts. A 15-yard penalty on Stork early in on the third drive, that ruined that drive. The referee not calling that, but the referee will assume the calls. The referee not calling the Gronkowski interference on the second drive, but those calls probably even out. I didn't see that the referees were one way or the other. Although I think there was an interference on one of the White balls, on a long pass to White, the one that Brady didn't overthrow. It looked like to me the defender did not turn around. That should have been pass interference. All right, but I can't go back down and say I looked. There was that the referees were favoring one team over another. What other little factors are there? I think we did it. This is over. We're not showing it. We're going on to now. We're a week before. So I'm going to be showing Super Bowls now. So we have finally completed. You have seen many parts. And I remember it's only a lot of times the best analysis comes from watching it a second time. Many times I'm able to see it the first time, and you get that penetrating, solid, specific analysis. But sometimes you watch it a second time, you see a different ball game, and that is a SALT production. And this all 6-parter has been SALT production spectacular. There you go. Spectacular analysis. Low tech. You got Brady throwing lefty on some of them. I mean, you got you already picked up on the low tech, but that has been a SALT analysis. We now finally have completed the 17th and final meeting between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. You want to call it a classic? Well, it went down to a 2-point conversion. Went down to really was a suspenseful ending. 20-18. Peyton Manning goes on to Super Bowl 50. Tom Brady goes home. That is our SALT analysis.